ready to go out to dinner. So we see them all, getting glammed up and whatnot. And they head out to, I believe it was a pink stretch. Looks like it was like a pink stretch excursion, and they're headed. Oh, no. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so I believe they're going to dinner in the hotel that they're staying in. A really nice steak restaurant, and they have like their the room reserved, of course, not with the general public because they're filming shrimp, I think it was a seafood, a chilled seafood into I guess like picking questions out of a jar. Simone wrote down questions that she said would be slightly shady and not so shady, but her and Cecil are writing a book, so she wanted to just get like more information to add into a book, but really she's just being messy. Like you can say you're trying to get research from other married couples and what are the do's and don'ts and the deal breakers, but the reality is she really is just trying to be a little bit messy and make the dinner exciting because of course they are filming a TV by Audra, who is the newbie, is what surprised you most, or what were you most surprised by when you first got married? And Toya lets it be known that her biggest shock was that the penises don't get bigger. And I think I kind of felt what everyone else felt at the table is that she slighted her husband. And I don't know if you've been watching, how long you've been watching the show, but I've been watching since season 1. Toya has always found a way to embarrass and or disrespect Dr. Eugene. Like it just never ceases to amaze me the way she will just disrespect for, light jokes and, teasing each other. But to suggest that your husband's penis is not large, even if it isn't, but just to suggest that, whether it being in public and private, but definitely not on television, I just think it's just completely disrespectful. So, everyone kind of just laughs it off. And another question posed, I think Simone asked this question actually, is can your husband have female friends? And I think the majority of the table, especially like the Heavenly, and then we get a flashback from seasons ago where Dr. Simone's husband Cecil had a female friend. And this female friend, I believe her and either before or leading into their marriage. So it wasn't like it was just somebody he had just met, while they had got married. He met a coworker and, oh, she's just really cool. But it seemed like she was somebody that had been in Cecil and Simone's life for a really long time. So in this particular instance, um, I'm not exactly sure what happened that made Simone at some point feel uncomfortable, but she was definitely feeling uncomfortable. And I think her response was based on the boundaries. She's fine with him because you're going to meet people, especially when you're in the workplace. You're going to, have conversations and you just kind of naturally click with certain people. Some people you don't. But her thing is boundaries. And as long as that person, as long as that, woman is respecting my marriage and respecting the fact that you're a married man, she doesn't really have an issue. Now, personally, I think I'm not going to say normal or natural, but I think it does happen to where you do meet people. I have friends. I have one guy who's a friend. We've been friends since I was sophomore in college, since like, age 19. Now I'm 40 now. So we've been friends for, decades. And he's married, but I don't, as we gotten older, he's been in a couple of marriages. But anyway, as we've gotten older, I have backed off with the calling and the texting because it just kind of looks weird. You know what I mean? Like, I have my own life going. He has his own life going. So outside of a here and there and a hey and a hello and oh, you wouldn't believe what happened kind of story, there's no need for me to be in constant communication with you because that's just respect. So, but some of the other ladies felt like their husbands don't need to have female friends at all, and I get it. And I also think it comes to it's about your, I hate to say it's like about your trust with your husband, because whether you know about a friend or not, a man is going to do, if a person is going to cheat, they're going to cheat. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if it's a friend that you know or somebody you don't know. Um, but I definitely understand it. And I think some of the longest lasting marriages in my family, and I don't know anyone's business in particular, but I don't know of the people in my family that are married, the women that are married to, men or my, in-laws and vice versa. I don't know that these people have outside friends. It seems like the longest lasting marriage in my family, the partners are each other's only friends outside the family. So I can't say that that's something that I've seen a lot. But anyway, moving along, I dragged that out a little bit. Then we move on to the question of masturbation, and does will too much masturbation affect your marriage's sex life? Personally, I think that I can kind of see both sides, where Anila and Toya's perspective is their husbands are, physicians, and so they're very busy. They work, X amount of hours, and they just don't have the time to put in that work sometimes. The sexual energy. So they take care of themselves. Um, I think as long as, I hate to say leave room, because that's something that Dr. Simone and Dr. Jack said. We got to leave room for your husband. If you please yourself too much, then he's going to have a difficult time in pleasing you, because you're so used to, your toys or whatnot. So um, I think it depends on the person, and I think it depends on the marriage. But Toya's perspective was, it just makes the man work harder, and she's not against making the man work harder to sexually please her, which was to uh, Dr. Simone's dismay, and Dr. Hemley was all for it. Like, hey, let him work, hard as he possibly can to sexually satisfy you. So anyway, I don't really have much to say about that. I think, and I get that sex is kind of a interesting topic, but for me, again, I think I said it in last week's review. These are all women of a particular age. Nobody's fresh out of their virginity. No one's fresh in the splitting of the hymen, and so I don't know why sex is such a huge topic. And I think Quad began to say that she, masturbates excessively, and she has all these toys, and I don't really think it's anyone's business. And I like the way I've noticed Carrie and Audra kind of hang back on those topics, because it's really nobody's business, and it's between you and your husband. Some things to me should just be between you and yours. But anyway, so moving right along, they move on through the dinner, and as dessert, the chef brings out a plate full of stacks of money. So, all the ladies get excited, and Simone's like, you get a stack, you get a stack, you get a stack. And they're headed to the strip club. They got, stacks full of ones. To me, it looks like maybe it's $100 to $200 a stack. So anyway, the ladies head to a male strip club. They do what they do at a male strip club. Some people are getting more excited than others. Of course, Dr. Jackie's like wrapped up and like appalled. Whatever. I don't believe it, but she's all wrapped up and appalled in her shawl, and she's so shocked. Contessa quickly, does a little booty lap dance on Jackie. Toya does a full out grind. And they just kind of have fun. They just kind of enjoy themselves and let loose, and, get drunk, head back to the room in the limo. I kind of missed out on something in the while they were in the limo ride. The ladies are calling their husbands to let them know that they're headed out to the strip club, and are they okay with that? And everyone's fine. It's really no issue. Actually, this episode, more than that, was really just like a filler. It wasn't a lot of meaty stuff going on. It was kind of just. And maybe it's because they've done Vegas to death. These shows have done Vegas to death, and kind of just, for me, it feels boring. They've done the Vegas to death. They've done Islands to death. They've done. I need to see something different. They need to really think outside of the box on these trips that they do. But anyway, So we're taking while the ladies are in Vegas doing their girls trip, the men meet up for a workout. So they meet up at a boxing gym. It's Dr. Cecil's. I'm not Dr. Cecil. It's Cecil's plan. So Cecil, Dr. Damon, Dr. Scott, Audra's husband. I keep forgetting his name. He doesn't really talk much. He doesn't get a lot of screen time. But her husband's there. Dr. Eugene is there. Dr. Karen is there, and Curtis. So they meet up, they do the boxing, they do a workout, they have a really brief conversation about the issue that transpired between Dr. Kieran and Dr. Eugene. And the scene pretty much wraps up. It's just letting us know that the men are doing something, they're active, and it's really just to add something to the show because, like I said, this is just a filler episode. There's nothing real, and I guess that's good. You don't want to have drama every single episode, right? So, all in all, towards the end of the episode, Contessa and Heavenly talk, and Heavenly apologizes tearfully to Contessa and let her know that, look, I didn't know that my videos were that hurtful to you, and it was never my intention to hurt you. So, I apologize, and they kind of make up. And we get a preview to next week's episode, or the episode coming up. That's the end of the review. I guess that went pretty quickly. Yeah, not much going on. Not much going on this episode. Just keeping them abreast. The ladies are all packed and they're headed back to the ATL, and hopefully we'll get something more juicy and exciting next week. Again, I want to see more of Andra and her husband and what they're like. She doesn't have more than, I can't even say Carrie spoke on the episode. So anyway, they need to figure out what they're doing with that. Anyway, have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.